Okay, so we're back in the office now, and we're just going to transfer the data off the Suneye onto the computer for processing, and so we can now get our reports from it. So Suneye, and you essentially just follow the prompts that are sitting on the screen. Just connects through a USB port. We've turned our unit on, and we're now just going to transfer from the device. And once they've been transferred off the device, they are no longer on it, so you can only now view them on the computer and not on the device. So the four sessions transferred there, and we're now going to browse. We were just at Kyle Street. We now have browse the Suneyes, and so we'll go to this one here, which is the one taken from our OTA. And so what it shows up on the screen here is, in green is the shading, so these are the trees that we talked about that are outlined to the west. It's picked up the anemometer mast that's here through to the north, and it has also picked up trees and buildings out to the east. Now it's picked up these trees here. It hasn't quite picked up the building here correctly, so we're now just going to go and use this tool down here. Now just going to go in shading, because you can actually see the roof line of the building through there. So we're just going to go through here and fill this in. It's just a cheap version of paint essentially. And we can then just refine any little edges around the sides here where we may have gone over or not. And then we can just apply the changes. And so by doing that with the out to the east here, it hasn't changed our values here a heck of a lot. We're still around about the 93%, and essentially that's because of all this shading through here. Now we can view multiple images here, so we can now see our monthly solar access. So this is, again, we were able to view this on the screen outside. And it just basically shows us for the months of the year and percentage, so pretty much August is our worst month at the moment. And the one that we really want, because it's from the rain gauges, is to show the full fisheye. Now this actually comes into a lot more detail, so you can actually see the building out here out to the east, and these trees through here. So for the rain gauge point of view, what I would expect to see in 2 or 3 years' time is that this tree to be a little bit further up, this tree to be further up, and so on for these ones here. And I wouldn't expect to see any change to these buildings out to the east. So from the rain gauge point of view, that's what we're really after. And from the solar radiation, we'll now go to our next little picture. And we'll accept that. So this is now showing us the sun path. So we go through December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And so this is the paths that the sun takes for our latitude that our GPS sort of picked up. So basically what it's showing here again is that through May, June, we're losing a wee bit of sun in the mornings due to these trees here, and again in the afternoon to all these trees right throughout the year around this side here. And we're starting to see that this tree here is starting to come into the north, so I'd expect in a year's time that this might be a wee bit further down, and that these values will be a wee bit lower as well. So that's the beauty of using the Suneye. So now we can sort of see from our solar radiation whether we're getting the maximum potential solar radiation or sunshine that we can actually get from a station. And if we want to break that down further, we can break that down into our monthly solar access. And as pointed out by those trees that were up to the northeast there, they're causing this big drop down here in our winter months for our potential solar radiation. So in the moment, in the summer, the station's actually pretty good, but in the winter months, the station's a very poor station. We can now create a report as well, so we can now actually export the report, and let's call that Street EWS. That's for me. And we'll do all the skylines that we took outside. That's the maximum number, so that's in 10-degree intervals for the windows. And we want month from January through to December, and start from midnight through 11 o'clock at night. And we can export it both as an HTML or as a PDF. And just again, you can change the directories that you want this to go to. And in this case, we'll just go into, oops, my documents and export. So this will go through, it's just doing some processing of this, and it also creates a series of little JPEGs as well that we can input into documents, and I'll show you an example of how we've done that. Okay, so this is the report that we've just created. Solar Access and Shade Report, 27th of May 2013. So here's our latitude, longitude, the skylines that we took. So we took 3 skylines out there in the particular session. This is averaged over the whole 3. And now we've got the individual ones. So our first skyline that we took was from the rain gauge out there. Then we took 2 from the solar radiation sensor, and that's those there. Now these pictures here are created as JPEGs, and we can actually input those into a document. And this is a document from a station up in Suneye. So we've now got our full fisheye, which is taken from the rain gauge, and then we've got taken from the solar radiation sensor. We've got our solar access, sun paths, and the full fisheye. And as you can see here, this site's actually a very poor site because of all the trees. So it's a good example to actually show how the shading comes in and what sort of, amazing. September's 100%, July is only 72% sunshine. That's through this little period through here. Okay, now for our station record sheets, we now create our record sheets and our documents, and so we can actually now load these into Sims as well.